Hi, this is my review of The Wife, and usually during these reviews I have a picture of the film's poster displayed like I do now. But I will admit it was legitimately tempting for me to just have this up throughout the whole review, because that's what this movie is. That is exactly what this movie is. Um, I won't though, I'll put it down. There we go. Magic of editing. Uh, I'm sorry. I'm tripping over my words again. I do that a lot, as I'm sure you've noticed if you've seen a lot of these reviews. So, The Wife. Let's talk about this movie. So, this is very obviously just Glenn Close's Oscar vehicle. She, it's impressive. She's one of those actresses who has been around a while, and you're almost surprised to hear that she doesn't have an Academy Award. It feels like she's somebody who should have an Oscar given her long, illustrious career. So I think that's very much the point of this movie, that it's very much just a career nomination. And I think if you had no idea who Glenn Close was and you saw this movie, you'd probably think, oh, maybe a nomination, but I can't see this actually winning an Oscar, especially given the competition. What makes Glenn Close a frontrunner is the long career that she's had, and the fact that she is overdue, and everyone knows she's overdue. So that's very much what this is, a career nomination, or a makeup win. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Philadelphia Story with Jimmy Stewart, but Jimmy Stewart won Best Actor for his performance in that film, which is surprising because, I mean, he's Jimmy Stewart, he's not bad, but it's just very typical. He doesn't do anything that extraordinary. But it came out the year after Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, and the Academy realized they screwed up by not giving him the Oscar for that movie, and it was just an easy little fix-up, and it didn't really work. But anyway, it works because Jimmy Stewart has an Oscar. But anyway, back to Glenn Close. It's interesting, I'm kind of avoiding talking about this film a lot because, I mean, it's not playing in a ton of theaters right now, but for those of you wondering if you should see it, if you want to follow the Oscar race, sure. If you want to see the movie that may give Glenn Close an Academy Award, I'm not saying it's officially confirmed yet, but I can definitely see it happening. She is very good in this film, and she is undeniably the best part about this film. But here's the thing. To me, The Wife, it almost comes across as like a Lifetime original movie. That the only reason it got a theatrical release is because Glenn Close wants an Oscar. And you can see the whole purpose of this movie being made was Glenn Close wanting an Oscar. It's the story. It's a short movie, so I'll give them that. It's a short movie, and it's about her. I'm sure you've seen the trailer. Her husband is played by Jonathan Pryce, and he has just won the Nobel Peace Prize, and he is flying to Stockholm to accept the prize, and all the while we get flashbacks of her as a young woman who, the younger version of Glenn Close the younger version of Glenn Close is played by her real-life daughter, which I think is very good. She definitely looks like her mother, and she definitely has inherited the acting ability. But it's interesting. So the thing that you need to know about this movie, first and foremost, and this might be kind of spoiler, but it's difficult to really tell if it qualifies as a spoiler. If you want to stop the review now and see the movie, do that. It's good. But the thing about this movie is, okay, so there is a plot development that happens late in the film, like 2/3 of the way. I think I might be a bit generous, but we find out about this, and the film treats it like a surprise. But it's not a surprise because anybody who's been paying the least bit attention likely would have figured it out by now. I think many people figure it out within the first 15 or even the first 5 minutes of the movie, or even just by watching the trailer. This is quite possibly the most obvious twist I have ever seen in any movie, to the point where you have to wonder if it was intentionally supposed to be obvious. And I don't know, sometimes the film acts like ooh, aren't we so clever? Like we're really building up to this big revelation, and you're like, I know what the revelation is. It's fairly obvious. But there are moments when the film does seem kind of clever. Like maybe the fact that it's obvious is the whole point, that no one else can see it. I can't really talk more without giving it away, but it's not much to give away. But okay, so the thing about this film is, while the story, it could be argued, has some issues, the script does give the actors, and particularly Glenn Close, a lot of great dialogue. It gives them some great clips, some great memorable lines, and it has a lot of interesting things to say about writing, which myself, I am a writer, and I think it's interesting to see different characters with different points of view talking about when you need to write, and this urge that you have to write, and where you get inspiration from. And there's a difference between having the inspiration and writing well, and when you need approval. There are a lot of different things that go into being a writer that I definitely relate with. So, and okay, the other actors in the film are good. Jonathan Pryce. Christian Slater is perhaps a little bit out of his element, but Jonathan Pryce is very good. I wonder if he's going to get any supporting actor. I think you could possibly make the argument he's lead. It's kind of debatable. It's kind of debatable with him, but Glenn Close, it's gonna contend primarily because of Glenn Close. This is Glenn Close's movie, and everyone knows it. And I'm curious to see if this is actually gonna be her Oscar movie in the end. I haven't seen that many other actresses this year. I think it's debatable right now between Glenn Close and Elsie Fisher in 8th grade. But I'm sure there are a lot of really exciting female-driven movies coming out this year, which in itself is a very good thing. And I think it's very unlikely at the end of the year I will personally have Glenn Close as my favorite Best Actress winner. But with that said, I think it's very, very possible that she could win. And it would be deserving only because of her illustrious career and the fact that by this point, she's earned one of them by now. And I was looking on Wikipedia, and I found out that if Glenn Close won, she would be the 3rd oldest Best Actress winner ever, behind only Jessica Tandy and Katharine Hepburn. So that's interesting, and it's good that older women are getting roles. Older women who aren't Meryl Streep. Yeah, they're very close in age, actually. Streep and Close. So, yeah, there's not really much else to say. It's a good movie. It's not great. Like, this is not going to be this movie's not going to be in anybody's Best Picture list, I don't think. But don't predict this for any other category other than Glenn Close. Maybe Jonathan Pryce in supporting actor if you really wanted to go there. But yeah, you know what you're getting with this one. You can just watch the trailer. It's just Glenn Close trying to win an Oscar. And what's interesting is that you catch a lot more layers to a performance if you know the big reveal, which most people will guess it very early on. But I almost wonder if some people will be compelled to watch it a second time and catch the nuances of her. A lot of her acting early on is very quiet, and then near the end she gets a big yelling scene that is going to be the one that's played in front of all the Oscar clips. Yeah, there's not much else to say. Take it for what it's worth. Glenn Close wants an Oscar, and we'll see if we can get her one. That's the movie. See you later.